Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at Rodimus Prime. This is from the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy toy line. This one is Commander class figure. So in the same class I think as Jetfire and the ones like that. So yeah, you don't actually see this guy in the cartoon series, and we've recently had a Hot Rod from the Studio series. So the last Rodimus Prime I think that we had was in the Power of the Primes one, which basically I'll do a bit of a comparison as we sort of go through this. But with that one, it was a Hot Rod figure, which was the car, and then the trailer and everything else was almost armor for him that you took off and combined. Whereas this one, the Rodimus is the kind of front bit here. And all of this, the rest is a trailer, which is like a combat thing, a bit more like the G1 toy. So it's a big old box, as you can see here. As always, I know I always say this, but fantastic artwork on the front here. Rodimus Prime's got a bit more of a kind of mature look about him, dashing off to battle here, and Rodimus Prime in his vehicle mode. And turn it around to the back here, normal stuff on the side. You get pictures of him in his robot mode, how many steps into vehicle mode, transformation into his kind of truck mode, and all the bits where he's kind of using his kind of battle station, if you like, and the accessories that come with it. Interesting enough, it does actually come with extra accessories. So I'll put the box down and move that out of the way. And we've got the figure himself, which I'll just bring that in a second. So we've got Rodimus Prime here. And his trailer. Now, that might seem like quite small to you at the moment. I am sort of backed out as much as I can, actually. So he is Voyager scale, the figure. So bring him alongside Ramjet. He's actually a little bit taller than the Voyager, I would say. Obviously he's got his kind of legs bent a little bit there. So he's a decent size Voyager. And then he has this big old trailer that he has as well, which is very nice. And then he has got all of these extra kind of blast effects and things like this. So I wasn't actually expecting any of these. So that was a nice surprise. So actually comes with, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blast effects. And then there are some others. So he also comes with this rifle here and this kind of Energon sword. I think it's from a particular I nearly said episode there, but I think it's from the comic. There's a couple of episodes where he's got this sword. I can't remember what he actually used it for. I don't know if it's to do the Matrix quest or Time Wars or something like that. Anyway, so you get all of those lovely blast effects. There is also some other ones which you get out of the box, but I'm just showing you this because there is a place to store some of them. So underneath here, if you pull this out here, you've got this little storage tray in here, and this, you can actually pull this out all the way. And you've got these couple of accessories in here. So you've got this one here, which is like the plug-in bit for the Matrix, and you can see it plugs into those 2 slots in here. And these other kind of flame effects here, which are done in translucent plastic. They're not as, they're sturdier than the other ones, which are a little bit softer. Again, this one's a little bit more brittle. And these ones you just plug in, he says. Easier said than done. It's that way around. No, it's like here's that way. There's a couple of different holes out. Just plug it in there like that. And you do the same on the other side. And obviously you can also, I guess, plug them in on Rodimus himself. So you can plug them in on the figure here like that, so you can do that. Obviously the blast effects, you can add them on as a single blast effect like that. So he's kind of shooting someone. You can combine these ones as well. So I don't know if there's a particular way. I think that is the largest blast effect that you can add them all up to. If you do that, it's gonna kind of collapse on you. So you could probably do it as that without the gun toppling over. Yeah, so even then it's having trouble holding it. Kind of get away with there, but yeah, probably a little bit over the top with that one as well. So put all of those accessories off to the side. As I mentioned, he's got this rifle. So it's similar to the G1 toy version. It folds in half and can then peg on the side in vehicle mode. His hands open up. Now he's got two. He's got three fingers here, which see there's like a bend in here, then another one here, and then the finger itself is on another one separately to that. So like a trigger finger, and that opens up, and you can just slot in to that. So it looks more like he's kind of properly holding it with the trigger finger. And obviously the same here with the sword. He holds that quite nicely. And this is painted silver. The figure itself is pretty nice. I'm just going to take these out of his hand a second, just to make it easier to maneuver him. So he actually comes packaged in his vehicle mode, which makes it nice and easy for you to kind of combine the kind of Rodimus vehicle and do it that way. He's got a lovely head sculpt on him, very serious looking, silver paint in there, blue eyes, and even like burgundy paint and silver on the front here. All of this is painted. It's actually blue translucent plastic, which is then painted orange and yellow. Looks lovely. Be careful with it though. You don't want to scratch it. I have seen people post pictures where they've snapped these bits off, so just be wary of that. Lovely paint on here. This is yellow paint and then yellow over the top, and then the Autobot symbol done. Silver in here. Again, more paint on the top here and paint on here. I have noticed on these bits here, there's a few places where I've had just like little scratches and things where I've been transforming it. You see there's a little nick there and there. Pardon me. And then there is again on the legs, which we'll come to later on. But lots of paint. Even the legs, they've gone with this glossy orange paint, which is lovely. Gives it, I wouldn't say exactly a masterpiece look to it, but certainly more premium look and feel to it. These bits, you think they're kind of hip skirts, but they're actually part of the joint there, so it actually moves with it, which is really well done. You do have little hip skirts out to side, but they actually move with it. The legs actually don't go all the way, so they actually come out as far as there, and they go up to there, and then back not quite so far, so only back to there. But with the knee, you actually get almost like a double jointed thing where it can go back to there. And all the joints are pretty solid on this. He's quite poseable. There's loads of panel work on the feet, on the legs, sorry, and they tilt out to there. There's a bit of a rocker there, and the feet can move forward and back a little bit, and then you've got another peg hole on the bottom there if you do want to add any kind of like weaponizers and things like that. So he is pretty secure. The head, actually, I don't know, you can get a bit of a look up and that's kind of it actually built into the neck joint more so. And then you can look down with that as well. So if you want to get him to look down, you have to almost put his neck back and do it that way. But the look up bit can be, you can do that, and then the head rotates around either way. The arms kind of come up like that. They are quite close to the body. They do rotate around in there. They are restricted by this piece at the back, and then you've kind of got a double jointed elbow that takes you up to there. This is probably the only one where in the elbow section where you think it could be a little bit tighter, maybe like with the gun and everything, but you get rotation in there as well. And the fists, I think, rotate around as well. Yeah, they do. And that articulation, which I mentioned before. And then you get a little bit of movement at the at the waist, sorry. Like that. So pretty good. So that's him in his robot mode. I will take a look at the trailer now. I will do some comparisons with other hot rod figures once I've kind of gone through this. The sword, as I mentioned, is painted silver on black plastic. That's done quite nicely. I think as well, if you push this through, I can do it. There's a little notch there. Not quite sure which way to push that through. But there is a little notch on there, and I think that pegs onto the back of here. So I'm just trying to push that through because for some reason it just doesn't want to go through. I don't want to break it. Come on. Right, I'll play around with that in a bit, but the sword can obviously also plug on the back here if you do want it, or you can fold it in two and have it on there. Plug it on the side if you want to as well. Entirely up to you. And those blast effects that I mentioned, you can plug on either side as well. So yeah, the trailer. Yeah, it's a big old boy. Just to give you an idea of scale, here is Trax, which is a deluxe figure. So, yeah, he's, you know, he's wider than Trax and kind of 2 tracks long, 2.5 tracks maybe. In vehicle mode, Rodimus just slots straight in there and it clicks in nice into place. There is some paint here. Could have done with paint on the wheels maybe. Silver painted here. These bits lift up and allow you to plug it all in. This is all like kind of Tampo paint. Yellow and orange with kind of black outline. There's a little kind of blemish I think in here. And again more orange and red. Nicely done. And up top you've got the Autobot symbol on here. And same round here. I haven't quite got mine plugged in properly. I'm not sure if it's something I haven't done properly as yet, so I will take a look at that. But you basically just unplug it, open it up like that. When you get it in the box, this bit is actually loose, so you have to plug it in. This bit comes forward, I think. Yeah, I'm sure that does. Don't want to force it. This bit I know comes forward like that. Yeah, the whole bit does come forward, so just didn't want to. Ah, there we go. It's a bit scary doing it that way. But let me just. show you that. Yeah, because one thing I wanted to show, just plug that in here and then pull it down like that. Bring this bit down here like so. You've got on the track here, you've got like a little plug-in thing for what you call it, the Tight Master bases, the Micromaster bases. So they'll actually plug on there. This bit's actually got like pistons on it, so that's quite nicely done. I don't know if this bit moves out of the way, but it doesn't quite sit flush, so I'm not sure if I've done it quite properly, but that comes down here. This piece I think lifts up like that, I think, or you can just have it closed up like that. There's another little piece off the side there. There's absolutely gazillion holes in this. I don't know why. I don't know if that's just to plug in like loads of guns. It just seems quite random. There is a peg on the bottom of this, so you can peg it in here, so you can move this around, this here as well. Not sure what that bit's for actually. Yeah, and then if you're going to kind of use Rodimus on it, just peg in this bit to here like so. Move these bits out. These bits come out as kind of handlebars for them to hold it, and this bit kind of comes out as well as whatever, like that, and it kind of rotates around, and then you can stand Rodimus behind it, and he can actually hold on to the guns like so. So that I mean, that's pretty that's pretty badass really, isn't it? I think that looks good. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And he stands up fine on that. He doesn't really kind of peg in or do anything, but he stands up just fine with him kind of holding onto that. And there's space here for other figures to go in, or for you to peg other stuff in. So you could peg in other bits of weapons and stuff like that if you wanted to as storage. I don't know if there's room to put other blast effects in here. I guess in theory you could have him so he's kind of being shot at, and you can have blast effects coming out of here. Like that and like that. 1 second. Yeah, so I was just putting these bits on here. So yeah, to show you that you can add all of these. You can add the other gun down in here. You can add other bits down in here. This actually makes a nice little bit for any kind of Action Masters or other figures in here. Not Action Masters, Micromasters and things like that. You've got other bits where you can peg in different guns, and as mentioned, you can peg in the other vehicle bases in this little spot here as well, which works out quite nicely. And you know, if you were to have a ramp coming off there, it looks as if he could fit in there. We'll actually test that out to see if he does fit in there in vehicle mode. Just to take him off here now, we'll do a bit of a size comparison. But you know, this here does move up and down. There's actually silver paint on here, which kind of goes through down to here to make it look like this bit's worn out. and this bit rotates around, moves up and down, ratcheted, so it's pretty neat. And then you can also take it off, so you could have it as its own either little tank thing like that, so you can have it on the go. This bit comes out, I think that's to do with it being pegged on the actual top of the vehicle. So actually, let's just show that now actually. So this bit is supposed to come into here, this bit there. This bit comes up to there. That should just click in there. And this bit, it clips on here and on the side here. So if you push it in this side, you should hear it click in, and on that side there, like that. You see it does peg in nicely. I did have some issues with it being completely in there. So and yeah, and there's I think then it's supposed to peg on there. Let's have a look. It was on the instructions, so there was something where it showed this actually on the top. Yeah. So basically, it was this bit like this. That bit in the middle there, and this bit coming out like that. so you can do that. I think that's how it's shown. The instruction manual for this thing is absolutely huge. Actually, what it did show, it showed it the other way around. So it just showed it with this bit kind of all plugged in, carrying it. But I guess if you're going to be shooting stuff, you can kind of have it like that, however you want, just to show you that you can actually store it on top of there if you want to. And then to open this thing back up again, again the instructions show it pegged into the bottom here like that, pegged into there like so. And then again, pegged in here, that. See, when you, there's no reason for that to interfere with it. It doesn't look as if it does. I've actually done it properly this time. So there you go. So that's all pegged in properly. So I'm going to move that off and all the accessories off to one side for now, and I'm going to bring in Rodimus Prime and just do a size comparison against Hot Rod and some of the other ones. So got Rodimus Prime. I'll stand him up straight. I won't put him in a pose or anything, so just stand him up here like that. So, and then if I bring in Hot Rod, so this is the Studio Series version. So, I mean, he's quite small for a deluxe, but you get the idea. So he's a fair bit bigger than him. So you can really see, if you want to do that kind of evolution thing, you can see the two of them side by side. I've got the Power of the Primes Rodimus, who is a big old chunky boy. So I'll just try and bring him in. He's a difficult one to stand up, actually. So I'll try and stand him up, get the two of them side by side. So yeah, yeah, good deal bigger. I do still like this figure. It's kind of like Rodimus Prime on steroids. The one thing you could say about this is you've got a lot of different colours going on. So you've got the parts here which are hot rod, and the parts of the trailer kind of different colours, things like that. I do like they've done the same thing where they've gone for the kind of older face on it. This one is a little bit tricky to stand up. These bits can be a little bit loose and kind of go the other way. He's got a great big backpack on him as well, so it can be a bit of a tricky one to stand up, but he does definitely have a presence. What I'll probably do is actually have the new Rodimus on display, and as a representation for this, maybe I'll get out the kind of Nemesis version of it and have him on display, which I've had him out. So pop that off to the side, and then bring in Galvatron, two side by side. And yeah, I mean, Galvatron's a little bit taller than him. There's not a great deal in it, so I think that's pretty good scale, I would say. Two side by side. I guess we could also take a look at the Power of the Prime's hot rod as well, because he's, so I'll just unassemble him. So you see, hot rod actually takes up this part of it. So it's quite a, it's a clever idea really, what they tried with it. So I do like that aspect of it. Right, what I'll do is I'll just get him transformed and we'll take a look at him in a second. Right, here we are. So we've got the two of them side by side. Not as much of a difference between this hot rod and the other one. So you can see it kind of goes up. But definitely this one, the Power of the Prime one's definitely the odd one out in terms of aesthetic, in terms of it looks a lot more like a kid's toy in terms of finish and everything else. The other two definitely look more like a collector's toy, if that makes sense. And that was good for the time, I think. I still like the toy, but I think this one's definitely a step up. Next up, what we'll do is I'll just take that off to the side here, is we'll take a look at transforming this guy. So I'll try my best to get that done for you. Right, so I'll have to remember what to do with this guy. So there's lots of different folding panels and things like that. So first of all, you'll see this is pegged in up here. This bit kind of turns round, goes into here. This piece here is also pegged onto the back. You just have to pull that out like so. This piece here kind of pulls away from here like that. These pieces kind of come out as well from the side like that, so you can see where they kind of peg into each other like that. This piece comes forward here. Forgot to show you actually, underneath here you've got the matrix here, which you can take out and hold in his hand. So I'll have to come back to that at some point. So you've got that. And then, yes. So this bit comes undone a couple of times. But what you have to do, this bit here actually swivels around. So you actually have to move this bit down and actually swivel that piece around like that. If these do come off, they're on like a mushroom peg, so you can just pull that off and swivel it back in. This piece then kind of comes up into that space. These bits come out like that, like that. And then yeah, I think I'm trying to remember what happens with the head. I think that goes forward into there, and then this bit, yeah, comes out like that. It's going to come forward into that gap. So then this this also comes out. So there's loads of interesting bits to this transformation, things that kind of pop out and spin out on this. Like that. Just, do you see what I mean? There's lots of little intricacies with this figure. That will then fall into that gap there. That should also peg onto the side of here, like that. So that should hold that bit in like so. So I'll try and do that again. So push this bit out from the side here. The arm piece here then, as you can see, it kind of comes out and it kind of goes over and comes over the arm. Like that. So it kind of covers all of that a bit up in there. And then this piece here kind of straightens itself out. Pull it out from here, all the way up, like that, and bring this around to the side, and that should slot in to there like that. Just make sure I've got the legs around the right way, because the other thing you have to do with these legs, you actually open them up, and you can see you've actually got the wheels in here, so you have to actually fold the wheels out. Part of them actually pushes through there, so you just push them out through there first. That out. I don't want to force that, but I know this should come out. Just a real tight connection. The wheel, you actually push that comes up towards you. So it's on like a little hinge, so that comes out like that. These fold in like that, and again I think they fold into each other. I think you have to wait for that. These do actually fold over like that. Actually, it looks as if you might have to swivel this bit over here. That was why I didn't intentionally fold everything in and peg everything in together just yet. So you can see where everything fits in. If there's a slot for that, yeah, it looks as if it's just underneath there, I think. So it looks a little bit of a mess at the moment, but it should all come together fairly soon. So push that in like that. Come around to here, open this bit up, push the wheel from the other side, and that should bring this out like so. Pull the wheel up. It says easier said than done. There we go. Bring that back in. that is going to collapse in on itself like the old combiner was, and that should pick into that slot in the wheel like that. Then these will peg together. This then kind of all connects up, he says, like that. Make sure, in case of plugging everything back in, this is the first time transforming it back into this mode, so obviously I remember how to transform it the other way around, so this is kind of just remembering how everything goes back in. Plug that in there. This is going to come down and peg in on here and here. Oh yeah, that wheel hasn't gone all the way up. So that I want to peg in on that side, like so. Come on. Nearly done. Yeah, so you can see that's not quite lined up properly. I see what it is. This bit hasn't come all the way down. So it needs to peg out and then down. Like that. And then that should peg together properly there. Yeah. So now everything's starting to peg together properly, he says. So you just have to then wiggle everything around. This bit here actually comes over and covers that gap there. And that also pegs over there. So then you have him in his vehicle mode. Oh, I just adjust the camera slightly. So then you've got him in his vehicle mode. There you go. So tidies up all right. Like that's the little mark that I mentioned. So yeah, pretty good. You can display and hold his weapon in this mode. I think it's like that. You can display it. Obviously, you can hold it on the top as well and have it as a gun. Or like that, depending on how you want to have it displayed. But it's a neat looking vehicle mode. I think also as well, the sword fits in underneath somewhere. And I think it's underneath here somewhere. So let me just double check, because it does fit away somewhere. I just cannot for the life of me remember exactly where it goes. And then what we'll do is we'll connect that to his trailer. Where was it? I know I've seen you somewhere. Is on here. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Mr. Sword? Right, that goes on there. Ah, yes. Here it is. So yeah, you get the sword here. Yeah, and it looks like it fits in. Oh, I see. It's supposed to go in over here, over this little gap here. I see, this bit here, I'm being daft, like that. So he still rolls okay with that. So you can do that. Obviously the other thing you can do is add on those blast effects. So you can add on these extra ones. So these black ones, for example. And you know, they can come on that way. Oh, they do fit on, they're just not super good fit. And they are actually pegged into the bottom of here, so let's drag them out. So they do fit in there. They don't look fabulous with those, but you can do it. Alternatively, you can add different blast effects on there that don't fit on quite as well, but you can do that. So that's that. And then if you want to combine it with the trailer, you can do. I mentioned about this piece here, that just slots in underneath here like that, pegs into the back, and then you get Rodimus here. You see where he fits into that gap here. You just want to lift these up as you do it, and then just slot him in, and you hear him like click into place, and then that is him in his vehicle mode. That's it done. You can also add these blast effects onto the back here. So you do that, make it look like he's going super quick. But yeah, it's a big old unit. What we'll do next, we'll I'll tell you what we can do. Let's see if tracks will fit in there with the gun out. So let's open this up. I think there is a way to do it. I'm just going to open this up, get this piece out here. Yeah, there is a way to sort of like move this down. There we go. I don't know if this piece, you kind of move it down first or not. Yeah, you can move that down out of the way so you can have it as a ramp. Be careful, don't take Rodimus out, hot rod out when you do that, because you could damage those pieces there. So let's just pull them out of there. Peg this on either side like that, and then just pop in hot rod back in, or Rodimus, sorry, back into there. There we go, so it clips in properly. And then on the back here, you've got a space where you can fit in a deluxe figure. And you just bring that in, bring that out like that. So, and then obviously you can then open that back up again, pull that out, and you can have him roll out of there, which is neat. Obviously you can do it either way around, but yeah, so that's a deluxe figure, can fit in there, and there's a little bit of space still left in there for him to roll around. So I think that's pretty neat. Just roll that in, pop that up. You can obviously peg all your weapons in on the side here if you want to, and as mentioned, there's that storage space underneath for all your other bits. and you can also peg this onto top, as we mentioned, and you can have that mounted at the front if you want to, and you can be shooting someone as he kind of rides into battle, or you can give this to someone else, just have it as an armoured tank going along as well. So plenty of options. Next up, we'll take a look at him in vehicle mode as he is now, and we're just taking a look at him alongside some of the other hot rods as well before we finish up. Yeah, in terms of comparisons, I don't think I'm going to do the other hot rod, but just show you him alongside the Power of the Primes one. So it's a good deal, a bit longer. I think you've got quite a few different colours and stuff going on here, and gaps and things like this, where this is meant to be several different things. So this one connects in here, here. Then you've got little tabs for these bits here, which aren't great. The stickers on here is also starting to come off. You've got a bit of a gap in there, whereas I think this works better. There's a lot more kind of line detail, paneling. I think the paint is a lot better as well, actually. It's generally, yeah, big old, a bit more sturdy. I think it's kind of an upgraded version, I think, in my opinion. Still nothing really wrong with Power Primes one, but I think this is my new Rodimus now. And here he is alongside the Deluxe. So yeah, he's a big old boy in that mode. Last thing I'll do is transform into robot mode, and we'll just get that matrix thing, show you that, and then we're done. Oh, one last thing as well. Let's pull this bit out. So even in that mode there, he is a chunky looking hot rod, and he's definitely bigger than a Deluxe in that mode as well. Right, let's get him transformed. Right, so I've got him in his robot mode now, and to show off the kind of matrix bit and the blast effects, you just lift up this piece here, he says. Or do you lift it down? Oh yeah, so you lift it down and take the matrix out, like so, and peg it all back in. And then you can, I think you can get him to hold it in his hands. Get him to fit it over his fists, his thumbs. This might be one of those ones where he had to use his fingers, maybe. I can try and use his thumbs first of all, because I think that'll be the easiest way to do it, he says. Yeah, so you can get him to hold the matrix like that. Let's get him in a semi-decent pose with it. So yeah, you're gonna have to just adjust the arms as you see fit, like that, for him to hold it, and then you can put in the random kind of blast effect here, or you might want to put that in beforehand. Yeah, it might be might be better to put that in beforehand actually. That just fits over it like so. And then you can get it's tricky. I mean, the hands do also move in as well, so that might be a better way to do it. But I still think the thumb is going to be the best way to hold it. Maybe not. It's let's try this. His little finger. No, that seems too fiddly to do it that way. You can do it. Come on. Yeah, so you can get him holding it. It's not the best, and it is quite hard to do. I wonder if you can get it above his head, if that's like the easiest way to do it. I'm just going to back out a bit. I'm going to get him stood up. Just do that. So yeah, that is probably the best way to do it. Have him like that kind of Lion King pose, but with the matrix holding that up. I think that works. And you've got Galvatron here. And that's it. I think that looks pretty good. Overall impressions of this guy. Very impressed actually. Really solid figure. Well built. A little fiddly to transform. But it's quite a fun transformation, if that makes sense. It's nothing too bad. And I only had to sort of go back to the instructions on like where to like store certain things. We know where to peg in, you know, where the sword fitted in and all that kind of stuff. Other than that, I managed to sort of do it all by kind of trial and error. There is a bit when you're transforming him into robot mode where every time I've done it, you kind of have to make sure all of this sits flush. Otherwise it kind of sticks out a bit and it looks like you've done it right, but you think, oh, I can't really push it down. But it's a certain sort of sequence that you have to go through to make sure that's all plugged in. I mean, it looks really good, doesn't he, like that? So yeah, not quite sure how I'm going to put him on display, but I will put him on display. And yeah, thoroughly recommend as a figure to pick up. If you can get him, obviously for the cheaper price point, I think he's kind of around anywhere between top 85 and 95. 85, you know, I can say, yeah, go for it. But yeah, £100 odd seems a little bit steep. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.